And hello, internet, and welcome to the Zero's political hellscape recorded debate thing. First, before we get into it, I'm gonna say happy Pride Month, even to those who choose not to celebrate it or care or even hate gay people.
No one cares.
Your mom doesn't care. Anyway, let's look at
B.
let's look at the things we have decided to do.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm just
What are
really
you on? Are you high?
ADHD. No. Anyway, let's just start with globalism versus nationalism.
Fuck globalism.
Globalism sucks.
How
Yeah.
globalism sucks.
I'd say I'm actually a teeny bit isolationist, but not really, because we kind of need foreign affairs to function. But both are shit, so.
What's wrong with nationalism?
I mean,
Obviously
I
not
would have-
extreme
entire
nationalism.
debate.
what I would say though is nationalism is
I'm a
actually kind of.
centrist. I am. Everyone except me is stupid. I'm not.
I am a centrist.
Hey, you shut up. Okay. I'm alt right.
I will
No,
say
I'm not that right. I'm not a
I'm a
Nazbol.
cleric.
Don't worry about me.
I'm a clerical fascist.
I just hate heretics.
I am also Nazbol.
Heretics, I actually hate. I really hate heretics.
Yeah, me too.
Who wants to revisit identity politics, since the guy who objected to it isn't here? I'm an asshole.
Imagine just he just comes out the cut and beats your ass.
Nathan from Maryland. Pranked.
Yeah, I
Got
don't know. We
pranked.
didn't have that many. Our debate topics were
Oh,
property, not
woman.
revisiting identity politics, globalism versus nationalism.
I heard property, and I assumed we're talking about women.
Shut up.
Yeah, so about that.
You fricker. Okay, no. Ah, damn it. Now I'm stuck with the centrists and the right wingers.
That was a really
Uh,
shitty aim.
This is a
What is
bromo.
that?
Bro, momento número dos.
I'm gonna see if anyone. I'm gonna
Okay,
see if anyone
what's
else
your
can join.
stance on globalism or nationalism?
Globalism, with my limited knowledge of it, I don't think everyone should have to be a part of a thing. They can do their own thing. Is that what that is? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, basically, country affairs should be country affairs, not world affairs. It's retarded. And
Pretty much.
yeah,
Because if you're weak, if you're not necessarily weak, like a smaller nation, and you're a part of a huge collection of nations, you don't want them deciding what happens in your country. You should have a say. Because they're going to outvote you. Because if you're a small country.
like the United Nations.
All I know about globalism is based off the name that everything should be one place. Although it's probably wrong. I don't know.
Does anyone think that globalism is better than nationalism here, or?
Anything is better than nationalism.
Fake news.
Pagans. How about pagans? Or pagans?
Honestly,
Pagans are pretty dank. The operation of
people
or
were,
planning of economic foreign policy on a global basis. That's stupid.
N.
people would be a lot happier if they were nationalists. Okay, we'll get it now. A lot of Americans inside the media hate America because oh my god, it's racist. But if people actually loved America and loved living in America, they'd if they actually loved their country like we used to, we wouldn't be so.
My issue
depressed.
isn't with the racism, although that is definitely an issue. My issue
No,
is
it's not.
with the imperialism.
It doesn't exist.
Shut up.
Well,
There's
I
a-
mean,
alright, so think of it on the
what, for,
grand
like,
scale.
Hawaii?
There's a small group of internet racists that the establishment, left-owned media, makes out to be a big deal, and then blames half the country who's conservative and holds conservative values of American values for a long time, and calls them racist and Nazi, and which is ridiculous.
That's what I'll say on the lib left. That's kind of
Lib.
libtard. So I'm gonna say on the lib left, that's kind of weird. I
Yeah,
mean,
but if
fascists are Nazis.
but
or
but
fascists
actual
are-
fascist and actual alt right is so
Yeah.
small. They're so small, and
I
they're
mean,
they're advertised
the
because
only issue I
they're
have
made out
is
to be
that-
the boogeyman of the media. Oh, alt right does this. Oh, alt right's next secret tactic. Oh, the reason 4chan is so successful is because the media bites the bait every single time. Every single time. Here now they're trying to make a hashtag a hate symbol. They tried to make the rainbow a hate symbol. Remember the "it's okay to be white" thing going on? Remember when that
But
was
is
going
it?
on?
But it
All the
is okay
signs.
to be white.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. But they
I mean,
knew
race
the
shouldn't
media
matter.
was gonna.
So
They knew well, yeah, but it should
That's
be
because the
okay to
media
be
is
anywhere.
autistic.
Yeah, exactly. But again, the media is the left establishment, and if they're giving these groups, these small groups, power. So if they would just not promote and advertise this idea of the alt right, then they wouldn't even be a problem because they have no establishment. I mean, what mainstream platform is owned by these racist groups? None. I mean, you could argue
CNN.
Infowars. You could argue Infowars, even though it's not true. But then again, they're shut down on everything. They didn't really, for not really doing anything. So
yeah, I'm kind of on the stance of like just the basic. We shouldn't have if it so happens that Nazis take over the internet, which I mean everyone's all over the internet, all over the place.
Everyone's retarded.
Everyone is stupid. The human race is stupid, and we've proven that. Anyway, you're right. I'll have to agree with you. Hentai.
Yes. Say my name.
Shut up. Anyway. Yeah, I think we were on the topic of globalism versus nationalism. I don't think it's wrong to have any like pride for a place you live in for its achievements and stuff, but if it goes too far, like freaking my country can do no wrong and yours is every other country's bad. America number one. You know.
Well,
Well-
of course, obviously, there's
Well,
an
America-
extreme and a
But yeah, it can any idea can be weaponized by
like
people who want to weaponize it.
even
That's what-
globalism to a scale could like not be weaponized. Like
Oh,
the thing
of
is-
course it can be weaponized. Look at Israel.
well, of course it can be
Israel.
weaponized, but that's the same thing for nationalism. But you know,
Israel's
if
the
one
best.
is better than the other, the better of two evils. I mean, come on, nationalism.
Nationalism, it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Okay.
On the spectrum of globalist, nationalist, isolationist, I'm probably closer to isolationism because let's face it, I don't think anyone's gonna want to talk to the anarchists for a long time. We should be able to at least partially sustain ourselves.
if any country went like full anarchist, they would be like stunted in growth. Like no one would even need to talk to them.
Well,
Double well.
Yikes.
You go.
I'd argue that capitalism is kind of hindering motivation because they're only motivating, or it's hindering innovation because I mean even though it's pretty much the only thing that's innovated. No, let's not forget like all the space advancements that the USSR made, even though they're probably in unethical ways. They still were the ones who like I think criminalized, or they did what they were supposed to. I forgot exactly what.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah, no, they
USSR
made
was communist. They were owned under a dictator. Anarchy.
Okay, well, communism is anarchy. It's more of a social. The USSR was a socialist, corrupt democracy. I don't like Marxism. Marxism is stupid. mainly because let's get to a stateless, classless, moneyless society, but let's first have a super authoritarian quote dictatorship of the proletariat, which will, by the way, naturally dissolve once we don't need it. Ha! That's a funny joke. I think the USSR would have gone on for hundreds of years.
I think Kit was scared, so they left.
I don't know. Anyway, my point was capitalism innovates, all right, only on things that are profitable, I think, is the main thing. But something like anything that doesn't help the industry, doesn't help the economic growth, is probably less looked upon and is made by smaller teams of people who actually want to try something, doesn't get enough funding on Kickstarter, and then ultimately fails. Then people are generally like, oh, I wanted to see that happen. Then they go back to their normal lives of freaking 9 to 5 needless jobs that are ultimately isolationist by nature, and they don't question it because questioning is bad. Anyway, that's, I think, maybe, and considering I'm trying not to cite any two things because you've heard the end. You will never hear the end of that, but you've heard me cite revolutionary Catalonia, Ukraine. For once, I'm going to say ambiguously in several smaller anarchist societies, as well as the two main big ones. I'd argue that innovation actually took a lot of place. I mean, took place a lot. There were a lot of hospitals popping up, a lot of pretty good healthcare actually, because it was all person to person communicating community stuff that was actually quite beneficial to everyone and for everyone. I think that something like, oh yeah, and also let's not forget that in Bolivia there's a small community of about 600 neighborhoods that are decentralized with no power structures of any kind, or no coercive ones at least, who meet up to discuss things. And they were actually able to prevent Bolivia from banning or like privatizing water sources, among other things, just by direct action.
Okay.
Hey, Logan, no one cares. I'm just gonna say that we're having a debate. This is.
Oh.
Did you just kind of space out and be like, Lawrence Albert Connor?
Heck yeah.
Lawrence Albert Connor's a pedophile.
Who uses fake accounts to interact with 13 and 14.
No one cares.
Yeah,
This is not
he just
the topic
he just
of which we are discussing.
Suddenly, Lawrence Albert Connor. Nice.
Lawrence Albert Connor. Okay. But yeah, ultimately,
Oh my god.
I don't think there's a winner or loser in either. I don't think there's a winner in either debate. Or either nationalism or globalism. They're just both not good.
In
my opinion.
I can agree to a sense that they're both not good, but if I had to choose one, I have my own opinion.
Yeah, and I don't know too much about globalism, but I'm just going off of my general stance on nationalism, kind of getting out of hand easily. What's the other subject we had? Can we do a debate on property? Perhaps markets. We need a leftist in here, and guess what we don't have?
Let's not do economics. It's boring and lame. We should do did we already do identity politics?
Oh, let's go into that. I think identity politics, guess what, are dumb, because who cares what race you are? Who cares, Mr. Liberal, if there's a black oligarch? He's still an oligarch. That's still an issue. I'm more of an intersectionality kind of guy. I focus on leftist intersectionality, which is the idea and observed belief that observed occurrence that multiple types of oppression and coercive hierarchies overlap with one another.
What?
And just elevating someone who's at the lowest rung of the ladder to a high position just because they're a gay transgender black woman isn't helping anyone. Liberalism is
Yeah.
ultimately just keeping imperialism and all these coercive things in place, rather than actually doing what it wants or is saying to do. They also don't realize that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism a lot of the time. Unless it's like a super small business, but even then there's still an element of it.
Yeah. I'm cool with American imperialism though. I
Of
like
course
that.
you are.
The
course
thing
you are.
is, with like American imperialism, like, okay, let's say an example like Hawaii. If we weren't going to, then Japan would. It was for the greater good that they're under American rule than Japanese rule, where they would have been
Yeah.
slaughtered and enslaved, basically. Well, under the fascist regime that there was.
I'm mainly looking at, of course, like Cuba and all these other ones, and
Well, I
just
mean,
the South American countries. A lot of
yeah,
stuff overseas
I
too.
think
Guatemala was
I don't know
trash.
much about South America. I do know a little bit about Cuba, though.
The CIA is an enemy. It is public enemy number one. But they play the good guys.
Well,
yeah, but they're in the best interest of America, not Cuba.
yeah, they put America first, and that's honestly what we need.
You know, funding a fascist dictatorship in
Against
Chile
communists.
would be really good for the economy. It's
Well,
in
I mean,
America's best interest.
Did you see what happened
Let's slaughter
in the Cold
millions of
War,
people.
where they put the missiles in Cuba? If we had communism, like for example, like Mexico, that'd be a really big problem. I mean, they do what they can. Honestly, well, it worked, I guess. Ish.
I think College Humor. This is a weird thing to source because of the name, but I think College Humor actually did a video on another stance on the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, that's like linking Adam ruins everything. No one's gonna listen.
Yeah, I
to
know.
it.
That's why I
Take it
can't.
seriously.
That's why I can't like link it as a source because it's already not credible because of the name of the channel it's from. But
What do you think about propaganda?
propaganda is an interesting thing. I like the idea. No, I don't. I think it's trash. But I like how the execution. It's kind of for me. It's an r/awful taste but great execution kind of thing. Some people are really able to shove propaganda down people's throats and make it seem really effective, or make it really effective and actually kind of clever, in such a clever way that no one questions it. But in a lot of times we don't need that. We just need the direct will of the people.
Such as the school commercials,
What?
late night television shows, comedy shows, things that aren't supposed to be political are weaponized against the people, such as Jimmy Kimmel. Millions of
I
Americans
don't think the
sit on their
state should
couches.
enforce. I don't think just the state should go around telling people what to think. That's ridiculous.
That's what's going on. The elite have a monopoly on the entertainment industry, and it's warping the minds of everyone, especially our youth, through a lot of propaganda online through social medias.
Right. I mean, honestly, if you go on social media long enough, you'll see it like so many times, time and time again. Just like,
Just things that clearly
yeah.
have a motive behind it. Just disgusting to demoralize and degenerate our society.
I'd say let's. I mean, it's.
Let me ask you this, Mark. Do you agree that the government wants us to not ask questions and be dumb and do what they want?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. Through propaganda.
Yeah, well, like, I think propaganda is really stupid. I think we both agree. I think that Reagan was just trash, human trash, a war criminal, whatever you want to call it. Enforcing all of this actually completely factually incorrect, but who cares because America propaganda down everyone's throats. And now we have people who are not open to anything because Daddy Reagan said so.
On the other hand, you have an entire generation of hippies who are just
Cool.
drugs and no war and this and that, but they're completely blind to the real world.
And I think perhaps that we should be based off of. It should be like political leanings and political influence should be based off of not propaganda held up by some gigantic state telling us what to think, but rather everyone communicating with each other, communicating with their ideas, things naturally coming along. Even if it's not desirable, even if it's not what I want, I'm going to have to say that if something happens because everyone agrees to it, that's fine by me. If it ends up crashing horrifically, that's also fine by me, as long as I'm as far away from that mess that may happen as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
Seems like I've finally reached an agreement with Logan here on a
Yay.
major thing. Except we have different motives.
Oh, wait
I
a minute.
think I have an anarchist standpoint behind it. You have a, oh, liberals are controlling the media.
Well, that's just a fact.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's probably, yeah. But I mean, conservatives, I think both, it's just an endless tug of war game of who can control the media the most. Currently, liberals seem to be winning, apparently, I don't know. I mean, I could also be terribly wrong.
Conservatives are being censored all throughout a lot of social medias because the leftist establishment controlling it. They choose what is allowed to
Calling
be said.
liberals leftists is kind of wrong entirely, completely entirely wrong in every single way.
All right, then let's just replace what
How
I
about
just
calling them libtards?
libtard.
That's a little more accurate, I'd have to say, but
You know what, Mark? You're a libtard.
Oh.
Ah!
Are you melting?
No. Fash gay. Anyway,
Oh, wait a minute.
wait a minute. That's right.
Furry gay.
But yeah,
Fucking-
identity politics. We got really well off. We got really off topic, but it was really nice discussion. right there.
Gack.
Identity politics, I'll again mention. Liberals think, oh, if we just elect a black president, everything will be okay and he will do all the things he says he does. All people have bad motives. All people are capable of having bad motives. And just because you're electing someone who's technically in a minority and is somewhat disadvantaged or completely disadvantaged depending on the location and circumstances.
Well, now
Just
I'm
to
gonna
a
hold
higher
you up.
position
Well,
of
I'm holding you
power.
up. I'm gonna stop you there. Just because they're a minority, don't assume that they're disadvantaged. A lot of minorities are doing pretty well.
Well, I'm saying
Yeah,
this is
niggers.
for the sake of the example. I'm not saying all minorities are disadvantaged.
I know, but that's an assumption people always think. Just because someone's a
Okay.
minority doesn't mean they have
You're
to be
just
oppressed.
clarifying for me then, is what you're saying. Or are you just making me clarify?
I guess.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, that's off the freaking okay.
Guys, can I miss something? I hate minorities and women.
Me too.
I'm racist in the sense that I think that there are other races, and I'm not wrong.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. We can kill them all. I mean, that's still on the table.
Respect diversity, man. So keep to your own race.
Diversity. Oh my. Funny.
You are okay. You know.
You know, are we ending the debate without me saying my word?
No, what are you gonna
Say
say?
it.
I was just
Say it,
kind of
please.
flustered.
We're
that
so
I keep
okay,
getting
okay, okay.
interrupted.
We're not ending the debate. Okay.
Oh, the word. Oh,
Yeah,
ha,
the
no.
word.
I'm gonna.
Yes.
Frick.
No.
I think I
What
know
was I
a
saying?
word.
Oh yeah, just because we're electing someone who's a minority to a higher power doesn't mean that person doesn't have bad motives behind them. Like
I
Obama
like how-
said he was going to do all these nice things. Maybe it was Congress. Maybe he was generally not about to do those nice things they said. That's why I think it's important if you're going to contribute to this shit system, at least look back at what the candidates are saying before, like I've said in the past, before you trust what they're saying now. Even especially if you don't know anything about them, which is what a lot of Americans do. They're like, "Oh, Trump is saying these things, or Hillary was saying these things. Either one must be good. I'm gonna vote on this person," and then
Round by the
everything
pussy.
fails catastrophically.
The thing is, Hillary is a woman, so we should all vote Hillary.
Woman.
Oh yeah, that's another example. Just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's a human trash.
She has
Doesn't
done
mean
nothing
she
wrong because she's
doesn't.
a woman.
It doesn't mean. It doesn't mean she isn't human trash.
Didn't she say she did? She did. Didn't she say she disliked homosexuals back in 2001?
Oh no, there's like videos and stuff.
Or was it 2002? Can't remember.
Super like anti-LGBT, like saying like, oh yeah, if I become president, I'm gonna go to war inside the Middle East. Oh, I hate gay people. I hope that there's no marriages. And then like she's like,
Yeah,
what?
she
I never said that. And then like she just like censors it. And
She
says,
called blacks super predators.
Well, isn't that true?
Yeah, somewhat in a sense.
12% of the population, 50% of the crime.
Anyway, I mean, Trump has shown a little bit of hypocrisy. Like, he's saying, "Oh, Hillary would have taken LGBT rights away from you." Guess what he's doing? And like that would
That's not a
that would be
right.
less
That's
of
not
a
a right.
problem if he was being
Serving in
completely
the military
transparent
isn't
with
a
it.
right. It's a privilege to serve in the military. It's
Rights, privileges doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm trying
so
to
what
say.
right is he taking away of LGBT people?
I like how back
I
then in
believe
the
I have a thing.
1800s.
Yeah, you
I
can't.
I
remember-
believe
I
I
like
have a
how-
thing, but I remember seeing it.
I like how back in the 1800s, right? The Democrats used to be like, "Hey, let's have slaves," but the Republicans was like, "No slaves." What happened? What happened?
Anti-big
No.
government.
People will say this myth of, "Oh, the party switched." Fake. Parties never switched.
Maybe they evolved. I don't know.
Liberal scum.
I'm a liberal. I support equal
You're
rights.
a fucking
for
anarchist, you
all-
little shit. You have
No,
a big
no,
A on
it's
your
like
forehead.
no, it's like I'm a Republican because I support small government, except for border regulations, CIA watch lists. You know?
Oh, my friend's on that. Actually, no, he's on the FBI watch list.
It's called national security.
Freaking yeah, CIA spying. All these kinds of things. But we're gonna say that we're not big government. Anyway,
Marsh.
believe
There's times where I think that like about like Donald Trump, and I just smile to myself, and I just think that's my president.
I just smile to myself and say, "Yikes."
Why do you say yikes? Explain.
I don't know. But walls. I love wall.
Yeah, I love the wall.
They should hire. Trump should really hire Chinese people to make the wall.
I'll put two. There are two tweets right next to each other. Thank you to the LGBT community. I will fight for you while Hillary brings in more people that will threaten your freedoms and beliefs. The very next tweet, or the tweet right
He's
next to
trying
it, is
to decriminalize
after consultation
homosexuality.
with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming. I think these are like two tweets put together. Like
Mark, where's the
General.
problem with that? I don't see a problem. Do you know the suicide rate of transgenders? Do you know?
the suicide rate of like everyone. I think just
yeah,
because
barely anything compared to transgenders. They have a
Japan.
mental illness and shouldn't be allowed to serve in the military. The military should be our strongest and our best and our most mentally stable. And they're
So we can take
abusing
over
they're
other-
abusing the military
Oh,
and
n-
the system to pay for their surgeries.
sure, what I mean that's probably wrong, but
No,
I
that's
think
actually true.
they generally want to fight for our country. I wouldn't see why because our country's a hellhole personally, but if they want to do it, so what?
Hold up.
Okay, well,
I got a question. What's your guys' opinion on the Huawei or Huawei bans?
Wawa.
the what?
Good,
The
Good.
Chinese bans.
because China was using them to spy.
That's true. What's your guys' opinion on the Chinese?
I haven't heard
bans?
of that. I haven't heard of that.
Well,
The Chinese phones, Hawaii or something.
yeah, they were all banned in America. They used to be pretty big. I've recognized the brand name at least.
It's just a phone brand that was banned in America.
Yeah, it was Chinese, and now they apparently plan to retaliate. I don't know how, but
By banning Apple.
I don't know. In my opinion, I think it was totally justified, and I don't know. And that's all. That's my take on it. If you guys have any opinion, or if you guys even know about it,
I mean,
I think it's a good
whatever. I don't know.
yeah, I think it's a good thing because honestly,
Whatever hinders China and brings America up is a good thing.
I think China was, a little bit too much money.
Here's the thing. You're both trash. China and America, they're both trash.
China.
I mean, they're both lying in some way about their country. China specifically, oh, we're communists. No, you're not. You're not even socialists. You're not even remotely. If any portion of your economy is private, you're not socialist.
Mark, they're communist, socially, authoritarianly, economically.
Fucking, you don't know what communism is, and you're making it stupidly clear. I'm going to explain to you. Just
I know,
because.
but it's just the same thing. Oh, that's not real communism.
Okay,
You say
fuck.
that about
Okay, you know
everything
what?
bad.
No, I'm going to specify using actual fucking dictionary definitions of these ideologies that you haven't bothered to read because Reagan shoved so much of his dick down your throat. I'm gonna say this. The definition of communism is an anarchist, moneyless, classless society without a state. Does this sound like China to you?
Allahu Akbar.
Socialism. Fuck you. Socialism is the state that Karl Marx wanted to see, or at least Lenin wanted to see beforehand, where people are conditioned to authoritarian style to be able to do these things. I don't even see how just because they're authoritarian. That's like the argument communism is when the government does stuff. Arguably fascism is okay. I know you're probably going to be one of those guys who says, "Oh, they said it in the name, because National Socialism, they must be socialists,
Poop.
The
one word.
You don't understand how much I'm trying not to punch something right now. I want to friggin' jump out my window right now. Anyway, yeah. So while you were posting memes and not listening, I was trying to explain to you why you're wrong. Obviously, I think you're consciously choosing to be wrong, but
Well, I mean, China came to power.
yeah,
as a
China started
communist
out.
party.
Yeah,
So-
okay, that doesn't.
So how?
I mean,
were they
America started
communist-
out with
would
a
you
small
argue
government.
Were they communist then? And then now they're not
Yeah, they were.
communist?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying they transitioned out of it.
Okay, do
via
you know what
revisionary?
the Industrial Revolution is? A lot of countries changed their economic policies to adjust to competition.
What I'm trying to say, so definition of socialism is a huge government that bans private property. Let's just go with this basic definition. It may not completely ban it, but for the most part, it's really hard to start a really big business here. Let's see China's economy, private sector. Let's see. Is huh.
Whoa, whoa. Hold on, let's leave.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Landed.
I can't find an exact statistic.
13%.
1350.
I'm saying if there's any private property, it's not legitimate socialism. Because guess what Stalin did? He banned all of it, everything. No private property, no businesses, no capitalism of any kind.
Hey,
And
Mark,
guess
is
what
North
China
Korea
has?
communist?
Probably. Okay. Again, I'll say it again while Ronald Reagan's giving you a blowjob and you're not listening. Every time I say that, it's stupid. Anyway, I'll say this again. Communism is, and I'll quote Marx, or I'll describe what Marx wanted, a stateless, classless, moneyless society based on people communicating with each other in an effective way without any kind of thing. Yeah, and guess what?
Sounds like-
North
sounds like
Korea
a-
isn't doing,
Communicating.
North Korea.
and it's
we're talking
also
about
really
China.
authoritarian and arguably. Yeah, let's see.
What's funny is that every single communist party has been authoritarian.
They call themselves communists because they want to get to that Marxist communism dream world utopia thing, and they're not going to do that by being super freaking authoritarian, because that government isn't going to want to stop being a government just because we're done. We are done. So yeah, the Communist Party, Manifesto of the Communist Party. That's why.
Okay. So Mark, what's a real communist state then?
It's
No,
not a
not
state.
in theory, not in theory, but
Yeah, no.
what's a
in
country that
practice.
was actually a real communist country that has been in practice, I guess.
Well, arguably, I'd say no one really got to communism. It's all been authoritarian socialism, is what it has been.
So it's never
Some-
been done.
Arguably, yeah. I mean, Cuba has already decided to be super revisionist and say, we're not going to get to communism, we're going to stay socialist, keep our market shit. And arguably, that's not even socialism. But that's not the point of the debate. And Russia was, the Soviet Union, again, was getting to communism. And then the next guy who stepped up after Stalin was like, okay, so let's introduce market things, and eventually they kind of swayed back into capitalism and dissolved the Soviet Union.
Why is it that every single attempt to go for a communistic society turns into capitalism? Because governments
Because
are
people
looking
aren't
for
going to
the
want to.
interest of economic
It's all the
prosperity.
state making their own decisions. I don't think that this method is. I don't think the Marxist method is good in any way, or is going to ever work in any way. Because even if this didn't happen, even if this didn't turn to capitalism, even if it was like totally fine for as long as it needed to be, when there was like post scarcity, everything, the state's not going to get smaller. It's not going to decide to dissolve because our mission's accomplished. It's going to keep its influence. It's going to probably expand all over the world, or try to. It's probably not going to.
I can't make a rebuttal. I had to be right back real quick.
Yeah,
I'm back now though.
I'm eating lasagna, so
Lasagna.
Nice. John, I require lasagna.
John, where is lasagna?
Where's lasagna? Nice.
Where's the lasagna at, John? You've missed my
John.
lasagna.
Where is my cheese meat? Hello! Welcome to
Bro,
our
momentum.
Ahoy, ty jesteś
Aha.
debil, protože ja nejsem...
Stop speaking Russian before I beat your ass into America.
I am speaking Spanish.
No me gusta nada.
Let's see what North Korea is.
Oh, are we still recording?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Let's go.
I'm gonna-
Yeah.
yes, woo!
Don't censor it. Don't censor it. You support free speech? Don't censor it.
Yeah, don't censor it, brother. You support free speech.
I'm too freaking exhausted to freaking refute that.
You're getting demonetized.
Exactly. Free speech, man.
I never wanted this to be monetized anyway, because money's gross and ew.
Chevy, call me.
I just clicked on your ad and I got an ad. I mean, your video and I got an ad.
Well, it's currently monetized. So, hentai, I am electing you as my official demonetizer.
Take up any authoritarian
Yes.
stances? How would you stop like fascists from
Bet.
Listen to that debate.
What?
I was listening to the recorded debate number 6.
Recorded debate number 6. Oh, okay.
Dude, this lasagna is so good.
No one gives a flip.
Lasagna's pretty nice. I'd have to agree with you. Lasagna's pretty nice.
Gam, you want to play some League?
Fuck off with League. Go suck Rengar's dick.
We didn't have.
Who's Ringo?
We don't have a whole lot of discussions.
He's level 10. He doesn't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
We need to get.
No. Donald Trump. Let's discuss Donald Trump. I like Trump.
Of course, you've made that stupidly clear.
I think
I
Trump's
think
actually kind of hot.
Presidents as a concept are dumb.
What is the concept?
Also, dictators, also any form of government structure, but
I didn't hear.
any form of state structures that's coercive,
Without states or governments, like in the history of humans, we wouldn't be even a fraction of where we are now.
Yeah. There would be no
That's-
organization,
That's debatable.
crime.
The debatable.
No, it's
we'll,
not.
we'll be literally people with fucking pickaxes running around smacking the shit out of people for bread.
Yeah. Neighborhoods
We're-
would band together and roof Koreans would create.
It's literally gonna be
Organization.
Minecraft.
Hey, Minecraft is pretty good. I'm kidding. I'm just, not
Think
not
of
my
think of
argument.
think of the purge. That would be what would happen if we went into an anarchist state.
Definitely,
At this point,
definitely not, because the purge is not based off of that. I think maybe the U.S.
Logan,
isn't the best
it's
place
not-
to start an
it's not
anarchy.
real anarchism, Logan.
It's a movie.
It's not real anarchism. It failed.
Yeah, see, it's only real when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna create a really nice communistic society. All right, follow Lenin. Let's come on, guys, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh,
Lenin
wait.
was
Oh,
trash.
no, Stalin came. Oh,
Lenin and
wait, what?
Stalin were trash. And
I'm going to the
Oh.
gulag because I don't.
The
Wait, because I
gulag.
spoke out against the government. Oh man, happens every time. Oh, it wasn't real communism though. Wasn't
of
The
course
real.
not.
Gulag.
It'll be real communism when it works. Wait, when's that gonna happen, Logan?
I don't think it will though.
Has anyone been listening to me? Seriously, anyone at all? Has anyone listened to any of my points?
No, sorry.
in any way?
Probably not.
Sorry, it wasn't real anarchism. It was on the path of real communism. Sorry, I forgot. It was almost there.
No,
Maybe that's maybe that's a little bit better, but my God, does anyone know how to debate that isn't me? And am I even able to
Probably
debate
me.
this? That's probably not.
Mark, there's no other leftists here. Every single right and centrist is in the call.
My lasagna.
Yeah, I just finished my lasagna.
Yikes.
It's very good.
Right. Yeah, Bimler isn't allowed on here. We clarified that. At least he's not on here. Anyway, if it's an anarchist society and it fails, that's one time. If it fails multiple times, I'll switch my ideology. But so far, it seems to have been decent. I'm not saying, oh, Catalonia wasn't real anarchism because it didn't. No one says that. We're not stupid like the off left,
Off left. Wait a minute.
authoritarian left. It should be pretty.
Ben Shapiro. Ah.
Wait, guys, give me a minute. Okay, thank you. Well, that's my final remarks. I'd like to add before I go play some League.
Hold on, I'm gonna
Rengar. KDA.
KDA Aria.
Check us out.
Hey, Logan,
let's go
there's a
spend, like,
place for this.
$10,000.
Hey, Logan, there's a place
Yeah.
for these
Here's a-
things that you're posting.
I just
It's called the
realized-
memes channel.
What are you posting? Is he posting memes or just really weird stuff?
Weird stuff.
Very cool Kanye.
Yeah, still shit posting of any kind memes. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob.
Of course. Okay. Bye, guys.
All right, bye guys. I'm gonna go with him and play
He'll
League.
see. Right. This is much more manageable. My God, that was an explosion. That felt satisfying, but oh my God, that was stupid. All
Yeah.
kind of ganging up on me. Maybe it isn't smart to go in as a radical leftist with a bunch of moderate to far right wingers.
Moderate far right wingers.
No, moderate too far. You and then, hey, Mr. Lithium Boy, would you consider yourself super far right?
No.
Okay, see my point exactly, hentai.
Bro, momento numero dos.
Yeah, maybe I'm decent with theory. I can't debate for shit though. That's something I gotta work on. And like with a lot of these other people here, it's kind of been observing from a distance all this stuff.
Nigga.
Fuck you.
I-
Okay, well,
I feel like I stopped caring about politics. Like now I'm just here to like basically just shit post and occasionally actually say something worthwhile.
that's fair.
I'm just so done with like life.
Huh.
Especially like recently, just like I play games.
Nihilism,
with
gang.
guys. It's fun.
Nihilism.
Nihilism.
No,
Hey.
not really that. Just specifically giving up on politics. Like just like
Just dying
not
on the
satisfying
inside.
as it used to be.
I have a super rationalistic point of view, so for me, philosophically and like actually, life has no set meaning to it. Ultimately,
There is no life. This is not
Okay.
life. This is a simulation.
this isn't
Okay.
real life. Okay,
This is
we-
all a
in
simulation.
light of our
talking
jokes.
about. What
This
we really
isn't
should
real
be
life.
talking about is the Diddy Kong on stage down air combos into up smash.
See, this is not even real life. This is virtual reality.
Yeah.
And
They added
nigger.
VR
There you go.
Smash.
I gotta go now.
I have to play Diddy more. Diddy Kong sucks though.
Anyway, I guess since everyone is gone, Bimler's messaging me. I'm just gonna block him. You know, I'm gonna deal with this off of thing, but I'm just gonna say this: if Bimler's watching, Bimler, you are human trash, and I don't know why I'm addressing you in any way, shape, or form. Anyway, see you guys next time. Next time, I don't know. Leave.